What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Runers. This is going to be episode number 3. In the previous episode, we had come up against a nasty little fiery boss that had really... I was going to say she kicked the crap out of us, but no, she pretty much, I don't know, burned our britches off, I suppose. We were left as a smoldering corpse in the middle of the floor. It was embarrassing. It was not at all fun. And you know what? I'm a little bit disappointed because I feel like I could have won that if I played it a little bit differently. Let's have a look at our Runidex right now and figure out what spells we've unlocked. It actually keeps a very, very interesting little encyclopedia here for you so that along the way you can actually do research, and I think you can open this up in-game as well so that if you need to figure out something that goes along with your build, you can kind of sit there and just go through your Runidex for a little while. I've never done fire. That seems really unlikely. Like, that seems like one of the first combinations that anybody would do because it sounds awesome. It'd be like an even better, even bigger fireball. Let's go with adventure mode. We're going to go Wimpy one more time because I'm bad at this game. I mean, we only made it into the top 500 for Wimpy, so apparently we're a lot worse than just about everybody else on Earth, too. This playthrough, we've got the Curse of the Spirit. Every spell gathers energy and eventually you get phased. We can go with Blessings of the Wisp. That seems kind of interesting. Non-spell pickups are drawn towards the player. Health packs return less life, but dropped runes always have 2 mods with doubled strength. Interesting. Yeah, let's go with that one. That seems like it would be really, really good for runesmithing. And since we're at the beginning of the game, we're experimenting a lot. That means that whatever our random combination is that we get is going to turn out to be a lot better. And then over on this side, the Mummy gives us a bandage shield, which seems pretty cool. It kind of gives you a blessing of protection. Iron Heart, next spellcast has 15 to all rune levels. It's a good nuker, but not something that I'm really interested in relying on. Not trying to do kind of like a Palm Pyro type deal. Focus Fire, focus for up to 5 seconds, releasing a flurry of arrows based on the time spent focusing. Casting a spell will end the effect. The Priest cures all debuffs. He charges, does an AoE. A Deific Assassin. Next attack has a 100% crit chance and does damage in an area around the target. The Druid, I want to go with the Corpse Creeper. I like the Corpse Creeper. He's one of my favorites. Summon zombies that annihilates the enemies. The Mummy is also very, very good. The Mummy, that 4-second damage buff is incredible if you're trying to do progression and you're trying to actually do better as you play the game. Actually, let's do the Mummy. Let's do something a little bit different. We'll go with Magic Missile because I think Magic Missile lowers the cooldown of anything you cast or something like that. Or maybe it's Chaos Bolt. I don't know. One of these does. We'll go with Magic Missile. That sounds good. Yeah, Magic Missile lowers our cooldowns. By how much, I'm not really sure, but... Oh, it doesn't work on your global? What? Players... Oh, man. I just took something that's not going to be as good anymore. That doesn't look like it's lowering my cooldowns at all. Damn it. Well, I figured that would help slightly, but I guess I've got a different idea as to what cooldowns minus means. Or maybe it's a random proc. Maybe if it deals damage, that's when it does it. Ow. I'm being shot with bubbles. Normally that seems like it might be therapeutic, but in this case it's actually quite painful. So I guess it must be like randomly on cast, it increases. Oh, yay. Got a shock rune right there. Considering shock is one of my favorite basic runes, I am inclined to think that I may... So what was that little zappy thing that just happened? It is lowering my cooldown every time that I do this. Oh, it lowers it by 10% as long as you have the buff up, so it's not like a concurrent. It actually doesn't reduce it as you go along. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so we've destroyed the mirror. We're picking up a heart right now. That's fine. I guess for right now we'll be heart since all the other Planeteers are taken. We can go with lightning or we can go with energized air rune. Wow, those are really, really good with those buffs. Those are fantastic. So we're going to make a energized shock, I guess, which will help us out a little bit. Let's have a look at this event room and see what we've drawn. We've gotten the Magic Wrangler with our Crayon Adventures, and so the lone spirits are lost and need help. Herd them back to their native world by coaxing them into their portals while fending off a demon hunter. Oh, okay, so you gotta kind of like put them into there. That seems kind of cool. I mean, I don't really have the strength to kill any of these, so let's take the wounded ones back first. There we go, that's kind of fun. Kind of an interesting idea. 2 more wisps needed. I can do this. Hey, go in there. And you, stop messing with my wisps, you dick. I happen to like these wisps. 1 wisp needed, 1 wisp remaining. Hey, we did it! Alright. So that's kind of like the cow herding quest in Mountain Blade, where it's just like, meh. We can get 10% crit defense, we can get runes. I'm gonna go with the max HP, I think. Nothing else there is looking like I want it that much, and the max HP will be helpful at the bare minimum for future. Oh god, okay, so we got maybe axe zombies. I'm not sure if we got axe zombies right now. They're not throwing axes, so I'm going to assume that these are normal generic zombies without any sort of proficiency for edged weapons or throwing skills. Let's go ahead and step on some of these skeletons while we're running in the neighborhood. We got a speed rune right there. I don't know how much that's going to help us, but it might be useful. We've leveled up, and so we get to select a trait. We can go with Inventor. We earn 10 experience on combining single spells, 25 on combining doubles, and 40 on combining triples. Okay. Grizzly Strength. Sacrifice 10 maximum HP to gain 10 damage permanently. Actually, that might be a good way to balance out what we just took from that challenge. Floating increases your move speed by 10% and lowers your friction, so maybe that gives you a little bit of Newtonian movement or something. And then you've also got Armor Piercing, Critical Strikes. I'm gonna go with the extra 10% damage because we already took 10%, we already got 10 extra health, and so we're getting a giant damage buff right there for something at the cost of something that we really weren't that excited about anyways. We just kind of took it because it seemed to be the best out of everything else there. We've already found the level exit, which is good. Let's go ahead and we'll move into the next area. It's like we've got a whole bunch of rats down here, which means that somebody has probably not been doing a very good job at sealing off the pantry, and also chances are, if I had triggered that properly right there, I probably could have defended myself a little bit better from that attack. Unfortunately, bandages were not ready to go. We've got a, what looks like maybe a, what is that, a speed rune and a mind rune? Okay. And all of these, as we said, because we took the blessing of the something rather, what do we take? Blessing of the wisp. These all have buffs on them, and so they all come with little modifiers, which is really, really cool. The cost for that was something. I don't remember what the cost was for that, but it was something. Oh yeah, our healing items heal us less. That's what it was. We don't have any combiners right now, so unfortunately I can't do any scientific inquiries, so I suppose we'll just continue forward until we find ourselves a combiner. Oh no, that room almost started out very, very badly for us. We are dealing a lot of damage though. We are unleashing the pain on our enemy because we keep pain on a leash. There's not a whole lot of restraining devices that work well for pain. Anytime you're trying to like restrain a concept or a feeling, it all becomes very, very sort of miasmatic. It all becomes very nebulous and difficult to describe, and also much more difficult to contain. I mean, have you ever tried to contain a concept before? It is not easy. You can't put it in a jar, you can't put it in a container. Strangely enough, leashes work. Who would have ever thought or thunk it? Let's go southward, because it seems like a good idea. Our zombie seems like he has, our mummy seems like he has very, or her, I suppose. She might be a she. I'm not sure if she's a she or a male zombie, but she seems like she has a very, very, or a male mummy. There we go, a male mummy. If my mail was delivered by a mummy, I would be slightly worried about the fact that pieces of them might slough off on it. This room is going to have an overarching debuff, lowers water rune levels. That's actually a lot better than it could have been. All things considered, there are a lot worse debuffs that you could get. Let's wipe out some of these skellies. If we can get them, we can run back through here and then stomp on them real fast. I'm going to put up my shield. While I do that, we'll run through the middle, and the shield has actually bailed us out quite a bit right there. We should have taken damage, but luckily, given our racial ability, we seem to have done okay. Or our class ability, I guess. I don't know if a mummy counts as a class or a race. It seems like it would count as a race to me. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's correct or incorrect. It just seems that way. We've got another enchanted room over here, which looks like it lowers our light rune levels. That's fine. I haven't been using light runes anyways, so we've been traveling shrouded in darkness and pain and misery and bandages. Also bandages. Pretty soon Meat Boy's gonna show up and try and rescue us or something. Bandage girl. Let's go ahead and we'll wipe out all these right here. Alright, very cool. That's all day. Hey, stop firing at me. You are literally firing at me, and that's not alright. I don't accept that. I want you to know that our relationship will take a turn for the worse if you continue to do things of that nature. We're going to pick up that right there. Alright, lovely. Looks like we got like a little treasure room right here, assuming that we get any treasure. Otherwise, it's just a room full of shit that we get to break, which is also entertaining. I like breaking shit. That's fun. Looks like we have the mine debuff right now, so we're going to be firing at the highlighted reticle, not the darkened one, although randomly I think we fire at the darkened one. I'm not really sure how it works, but I know that randomly you kind of fire somewhere else. You've got kind of like a shadow cursor, and it can throw you off if you're in the heat of battle, the heat of war. Alright, so we get to go either up and to the right, or we can go down right here. Let's go down. Let's go down for a little bit. I'm feeling in the mood. Swing out over here. We'll murder all these little air guys. Oh, we'll kill off a rat, one of those little wormy toothy things, because they look like they might do some form of burrowing into my flesh. Burrowing into my flesh, not recommended. Just not recommended. I don't taste good. They don't put that on my label because I have a warning label, but I lost it, but it wasn't on the label anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But my label, it doesn't express anywhere that I don't taste very good, so just don't taste me. Do me a favor, don't burrow into my flesh, don't eat my flesh, don't use my flesh for any sort of sustaining, and I think we're going to get off on the right foot instead of the left one. We'll murder these guys right. Oh god, he's spitting, I don't know what those are, bugs. It's like a big horde of fireflies or something, and while that doesn't seem like it would be that terrible, who knows? I mean, he might be able to invoke the soul of Mal Reynolds or something, and at that point I would really feel sort of outclassed, to be honest. Somebody's firing giant balls of serenities at you. Get it? Because it's Firefly class? Yeah, I'm trying to make a very, very badly constructed geek joke right there. But you know what? We're going to stick with it because that's what the Nerd Castle is all about. The freedom to make goofy-ass jokes and not have to worry about the fact that they may fall flat upon their faces. Their adorable, fuzzy little cat-like faces. Let's go downwards over here. Looks like we've actually finished the entire level, so that was kind of a short level for us. I guess we'll go on to the next level. Because it's way too early to break off the episode, so fly with me. Our floor 1 bonus, we can either take mind levels, plus 5% defense, or runes. I'm going to take the defense. I don't really like any of the decisions right there, so I'm just going to go for the passive defense boost. Enemy bullets are 10% bigger on this floor, so I guess this will be the floor o-compensating. We're about to level up, so I'm hoping that we get something good out of the grab bag there. If we get really bad buffs, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed, but bad buffs, that's sort of like the buffs that a sheep would get. Bad buffs. Let's go back over to the left for an enchanted room that lowers our darkness levels. Also, we are super confused by the presence of a whole bunch of mines in here. I'm actually going to throw up my shield just in case, so there it goes. We've killed off one of them so far. I was going to try and zig through the center of there, but whatever. It worked out okay without me having to dive through the center of the location. We are killing off a ton of enemies right now, but actually they've got these dens down in here. You want to be careful. If you get too many rats, they can pin you and corner you, and you will take a lot of damage, and it will be really, really unpleasant. Ooh, a Shocky rune. Awesome. And so we get to increase some of our skills that some might describe as, shocking. Down goes that enemy hive, and there goes the second enemy hive. We can get toughened. A 10% chance on taking any damage to increase your armor by 10% for 7 seconds. Or we can go with Dying Wish. When your life drops below 5%, stun all enemies in the room for 5 seconds. Grisly Intellect. Sacrifice 10 maximum HP to gain 10% cooldown reduction permanently. That's actually pretty good. Dying Wish. So it's probably, for me, it's probably stuck in between these two. I'm sacrificing HP to gain the cooldown reduction, or we can go with Toughen. 10% chance on taking damage to increase our armor. I'm going to go with this one. We're going to live on the edge right now. So minus 10 health. We're going to have... Yep, there it is right there. That's why I wanted to do it, because I knew that it would lower all the cooldowns, which would make me fire even faster. We have no combiners right now, which is kind of a disappointing place to be at. And so I think what I might do is just buff this up a little bit with my lightning runes. And so our range is actually much better than it was before. If we could get that out to go almost off the screen, I'd be pretty happy with myself. Oh my, he's got an enormous sword. That's kind of worrying. As I recall, we probably want to get rid of him quickly. And so there it is. I actually meant to hit the Q button right there, but I missed. So unfortunately, I'm going to take a little bit of damage on accident. We have a lowered movement speed by 10% in this room. That probably should have been something that I noticed a little bit faster than I did. But whatever, it didn't affect us that negatively. I mean, it affected our health slightly. Oh my god, somebody's like firing arrows at us right now, and bad things are happening, and oh my god, I am terrified for my life at the moment. There are so many enemies coming straight at me. And also there's a thief in the room, which is great. Let's go kill him before he runs off with our combiner, because we need that. Yeah, we are firing spells randomly all over the place. Let's get the proper cursor targeted in. We got the speed rune, very, very nice. And now we can actually combine spells to get ourselves something nice. So let's go ahead and go to our inventory. I think I'm going to continue sticking with the things that are just combinations of two things. So we'll go with a double mind rune, and that gave us phase missiles. Shoots 2 piercing mind bullets towards the targeted location. It does like an X. How fast does it do said X? Let's go ahead and we'll hang out right here for a second until we figure it out. Okay. Fires at a pretty reasonable speed. I mean, the range leaves something to be desired, but it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty good. I think maybe combining it with that to shoot down the center. Hold on. Let's go to there. Let's continue to trek back because we've got a brief couple moments where our cooldowns are going to be up anyways. And so we'll go back on here. That might work. Yeah, that seems kind of cool. Let's try something new for a little while. The piercing missiles seem like they're going to be pretty useful to us, so I'm going to go ahead and give those a try for a little bit. I need to step on that skelly right there. All of those runes are coming straight at us. Kind of an awkward position to be in, but whatever. Step on those skellies before they revive themselves and become a secondary problem for me. They come back with full health too, which is really, really bad. I like this combination. I like this combination quite a bit right here. This is actually one of those rooms that I would probably highly recommend just blowing our shield nice and early. Although you run the risk if you do that it'll never leave. It might just stay around forever. That's a good way to keep me around, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and we'll murder that over there. We've got a bunch of these little burrowing things running around all over the place, and I wish that they would go away. It actually seems like they have a pretty high damage integer too when you fire the mind spikes, so I like this. I like this combination a lot. There's a lot of interesting variation in this game that you get to fiddle around with while you play. I mean, it's very, very true that there's a lot of cool stuff here, and it's very, very apparent that they've put a lot of thought into the spells too. Like, every spell does something different, from the way that it moves to the way that it crosses its own axes. I mean, it's very, very cool. I like a lot of the stuff in this game. There's a lot of variety that you can play around with, and I think that's refreshing. Ooh, this room gave us entropy, so it looks like our darkness runes are not going to be going so well. I may start playing around if we continue to do episodes of this game, and let me know down in the comments if you do like this game. We can play as much of it as you would like to. I mean, it's sort of brain dead entertainment. I don't really need to like think or do anything too substantial while I play the game, so it's kind of one of those games that predisposes itself to random stories that happen to me throughout the week. And I'll tell you what, this week has just been... I went to the doctor's office. They sell art in the doctor's office that I went to. Like, how weird is that? They have paintings up on the wall. And it's like... Well, I've got a bunch of doctor stories here, but I went to the doctor this week because those of you that have been coming to the streams know that I've been feeling kind of under the weather. Like, I can't seem to shake whatever this is. It's been going for about 2 weeks now, and it seems to get worse rather than better, and I'm not sure what it is. And so I went to the doctor's office to get checked out, and they told me just to, like, come back in another 2 weeks if I didn't feel better, and they would start running, like, some real tests, but they were, like, I suppose they were hesitant to chalk it up to insurance or something. I'm not really sure. They didn't want to bill it to my insurance if it was just going to go away anyways or something. I don't know. Maybe my premiums go up or something. I'm not really positive how that whole thing works. I'm not an expert on these sorts of things. Oh, we leveled up. So we can go with Earthborn. We sap energy from elemental and earthen enemies, creating a guardian from the earth. That's kind of cool. Or we can go with damage control. A random enemy in the room takes 10% of any damage that you take. Interesting. Increase enemy rune drop chance by 10%. On a flawless room, you get a long-lasting buff. Skill is better than luck sometimes. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that off very often, so... I'll probably go with damage control. That seems like a decent ability to pop, especially if you're going up against a boss that deals a ton of damage against you. Anyways, I went to my doctor's office. What is this? Escort. Help is needed for those less powerful, and aid is to be provided. Protect the helpless one. Where is the helpless one at? I don't even know. Oh, God. Okay, so the helpless one's right there. Let's go ahead and wipe out our enemies before I'm going to do my best to eat all the spells to the face that I can, because we don't really have much choice here. Also, we have a health room that I can make use of. Okay, so we just get a bunch of XP for it. That's fine. Escort event completed. I'm going to get the plus 2% crit chance because I am a critical whore. I love crit in video games. I'm one of those people that stacks the hell out of crit because I like seeing them big numbers drop. And I think we're done. I think this is actually the second floor all finished up for us. So I'm going to make my way back. And there's absolutely no way, since I can't save, and this is the last episode I'm going to be recording for the day, I'm going to break the episode off right here, and I apologize for it being a little bit short-lived, and I also didn't finish my doctor's story, but we'll try and do it in the next episode. If I don't do it there, remind me, and I'll do my best. I really, really, really like the skill combination that we have going right now. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and hi, dude, let me know down below. Definitely give me feedback as to whether or not you like this series. I know I get a lot of comments now. The channel has just been growing like a weed, and I get hundreds and hundreds of comments a day, and so I do read them all. I don't get a chance to respond to them as much as I would like, especially since I have carpal tunnel. And so I'm on doctor's orders right now to stay off the computer as much as possible. Obviously, I do this for a living, so it can't be avoided for several hours of the day because I'm recording episodes, but I am trying to get better right now, and unfortunately, it hasn't been working just because I work so much. And so I am trying to stick to doctor's orders, so if you noticed I haven't been responding on the channel or anything, that's why. It's my carpal tunnel. I mean, my hands basically feel like I've got rocks on the end of my arms right now. They really do feel incredibly stiff and sort of lackluster. And so I've been trying to stay away from computers over the course of the last couple days. It hasn't been working very well, but if you haven't seen me, that's why. But leave me your comments down below. I have been reading them. Every night I've been coming through all of my new videos and going through and reading them, and also reading the updates that it sends me through my emails. Let me know if you like this game. If you don't like this game, we can move on to something else. I mean, I do try and take that into consideration. Obviously, if it's a game that I'm totally just smitten with, I tend to play it whether people like it or not, and I can just kind of damn the consequences, and I just have low view counts. But if it's a game that you all enjoy, let me know, because this is one of those games that I'm kind of at a 7 out of 10 on. I do like it, but if you want to move on to something else, I think I would be open to that idea as well. Take care, everybody. My name is Splattercat. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. The game is called Ruiners. If you want to buy it, look down below in the description. I've got it written down there, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.